Sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. Welcome to this episode of Am I the Asshole? Our first one is from Assignment United 2745. Am I the asshole for ruining my family's New Year's Eve by refusing to join the fun because I didn't want to be the designated driver again? Hey Reddit, I, 26 female, need some serious perspective. I'm starting to think I might be the asshole, but I still feel like I'm in the right. Every New Year's Eve, my family has a big party at my aunt and uncle's house, and every year, without fail, I end up being the designated driver. Don't get me wrong, I love my family, but it's starting to bug me. It's been like this since I was 19, even before I was legally allowed to drink. I don't drink much, maybe a glass of wine or a beer, but I don't get plastered. I'm fine with driving people home if they need it, but for the past few years, everyone expects me to not drink so I can drive them back. Every year it's the same. Oh, can you drive? You're not drinking anyway. I always say yes because I don't want to let anyone down. Fast forward to this year's New Year's Eve. I told my family ahead of time I wasn't going to be the designated driver anymore. I just wanted to enjoy the night, have a couple of drinks, and not be responsible for getting everyone home. I even told my cousin, who usually gets really sloshed, that I wasn't driving this year, and she was fine with it. When I got to the party, it was the usual chaos. People were drinking, laughing, and having a good time. I was enjoying myself, but around 11, my cousin came over and asked if I was ready to drive everyone home. I reminded her I'm not driving tonight, I'm here to enjoy the party. She looked at me like I was crazy and said, "Come on, you always drive, don't be a bitch." Which, what the fuck? I tried to explain calmly that I wasn't being a bitch, just that I wasn't going to be the chauffeur anymore. Then my aunt overheard and pulled me aside. She lectured me saying, "Well, we all agreed last year you'd be driving. You know how much we rely on you. Everyone else is too tipsy and Ubering is so unsafe. Just drive this one time for the family." I felt a ton of pressure but refused. I told her I'm not their chauffeur and wasn't going to do it again just because no one else could figure out their own ride. My aunt got upset, saying I was being selfish and that we're family. She said I'm the only one who doesn't get too drunk, so it makes sense for me to help out. I told her I'd already had 3 beers, so I wasn't even legally supposed to drive myself. That's when I snapped, because I told them it's not my job to be their designated driver every year just because I'm the only one who doesn't get blackout drunk. They needed to figure out their own rides this time. Then I got up and left. I felt bad walking out, but I didn't want to be a doormat anymore. I spent the rest of New Year's Eve at home, watching Netflix and eating leftover pasta with my boyfriend. My family texted me, calling me dramatic, selfish, and saying I ruined the night. They said I was being super sensitive and that everyone was disappointed in me. Everyone's demanding an apology out of me, even now. And by the way, I got home perfectly safe by Uber. But anyways, Reddit, am I the asshole? If wanting to actually have a good time and tell other adults to, I don't know, maybe be adults makes one the asshole, then I guess OP would be the asshole. But in this case, I really fail to see how anybody is the asshole outside of the expecting and entitled family members. This next one is by Mediocre Chain 1210. Am I the asshole for refusing to give up my seat on the plane so a boy could sit next to his father, and to tell the father to behave himself? So basically, I, 29 male, boarded my short flight, 70 minutes, which has a 2-to-2 seating arrangement. I'd booked myself a window seat, and when I got there, I saw a maybe 7-year-old boy sitting in there, next to his father, about 50 years old, in the aisle seat. The opposite row also had his mother and his sister sitting there. Although this happened less than 24 hours ago, I was exhausted, so I don't remember the conversation word for word. I pointed towards my seat and the father asked me if I would mind swapping so they could sit together, and that their seat is in the row behind it. I said that I would only swap if it's a window seat, and he said it is an aisle seat. Then I said I wouldn't swap, and the following conversation happened.
So you want to sit next to my son?
I don't care, I just want the window seat. He stands up, getting his son up.
You're a very nice person. I mean, not a very nice person.
It's none of your business, and be polite.
I am not.
Referring to polite. I said something I don't remember. And behave yourself. I just stood there looking at him serious. I think he was trying to shame me initially, but he didn't respond anything else to that. His wife was watching this the whole time. When somebody in the row behind saw it, he offered to swap and sat next to me, so they did eventually sit next to each other. For all I care, they could have sat 20 rows apart or even booked a new flight. I had zero investment in this or their reasons. They can ask, I could say no, and that should be the end of it in my opinion. I didn't like they basically pulled a fait accompli when trying to swap with me. If they care that much, they can book their seats in advance like everyone else. I didn't have a good reason why I need the window seat, except that I like it and I don't like the aisle seat. Edit. I used to read all these posts where people say they didn't expect this to blow up. Well, I thought I'd get like a dozen answers, but almost 2 million views in 24 hours is crazy. Many people are wondering why I'm insisting on a window seat. I like to look out, but mainly if I need a nap, that is unlikely to happen if I can't rest my head against the window. Other than that, I hate aisle seats a lot, equally if not more than middle seats. People and the drinks trolley keep bumping into you. I don't understand why anyone would choose to sit there. It takes the trolley bumping into you once to change your mind. I fail to see how standing one's ground and wanting to have a seat that they paid for makes one the asshole, but I'm pretty sure some people like this family probably think otherwise. And our final one is from Mindless Day 5597. Am I the asshole for telling my best friend if she wasn't always trying to get with my husband, her boyfriend wouldn't have left her? I, 27 female, have been best friends with Kira, 27 female, since we were little. We were neighbors, went to the same school, college, etc. She was my maid of honor when I married Rowan, 28 male, who we went to college with. At first, Kira had a big crush on him, but he started liking me. We slowly got closer and I started liking him too. This was after Kira had told me that she'd gotten over it and was dating another guy, but I still felt really guilty and didn't want to date him if it would hurt Kira. I asked her multiple times if she was okay with it and she said she was, so I thought it was fine. Kira's been with her latest boyfriend, Adam, 27 male, for a year or so. However, over the last few months, she's been acting strange around Rowan. Whenever we'd be hanging out with the three of us, or even with Adam there, she'd always find some way to sit next to Rowan, laugh at everything he said, etc. I didn't think anything of it initially because I knew that's kind of her personality, and her and Rowan are friends. But then she started always asking me if Rowan was there before she came over, and if I said no, she'd often suddenly say she couldn't come. Though sometimes she would say that, even if I said he was here. Rowan also told me about a comment she made to him once about how he was so patient for putting up with me being too tired to do anything with him now that I was pregnant, which I thought was weird. The odd behavior continued, but to be honest, the pregnancy had been keeping me too exhausted to give it a lot more thought, and Rowan seemed as friendly with Kira as always. But 2 days ago, our mutual friend Shay threw a dinner party. Me and Rowan went, as did Kira and Adam. Kira got a bit tipsy and she was trying to sit with Rowan and touch him. He excused himself a few times, but she kept finding him. I tried to get her off a few times and I was getting mad because this was a new line she was crossing. She was slurring about how I stole Rowan from her. Thankfully, Adam was too busy talking to Shay's husband to hear this, but he definitely saw Kira's actions. The next afternoon, I was at Shay's again with some friends when Kira showed up. She was crying about how Adam had broken up with her that day, saying he didn't think they were going to work out. Everyone was consoling her, but I was just kinda sitting there. I couldn't help but feel like she brought this upon herself. She asked me,
"Aren't you going to say something?"
So I said, maybe Adam wouldn't have left you if you weren't trying to get with Rowan all the time. Some of our other friends were shocked to hear this and got mad at Kira. Some got angry with me, saying Kira was just really friendly with everyone, and that was a horrible accusation to make. Kira was upset, saying she couldn't believe I thought that of her and maybe we really weren't that close. She left in tears and I left soon after too. Now I don't know, maybe I was wrong. Kira had been drinking at the dinner party and might not have meant what she said, and the other stuff could have been nothing. Maybe this was too harsh to say to her after a breakup and we could have talked privately, not in front of our friends. Am I the asshole? I really don't see the OP being the asshole here solely because of the fact that their friend was not only doing this when they were drinking, they were doing it whenever it seemed like they could. Hopefully they can talk it out though. Alright, that's enough stories for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Am I the Asshole? If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.